They tried to erase your name and take what was rightfully yours to rewrite history in their favor, but destiny doesn't bend to lies. The unseen has been preparing, aligning everything for this moment. You are not just a bystander in this story, you are the reckoning. Every effort to silence the truth has only made it louder. Every stolen document, every false claim, every whisper in the dark is unraveling. Justice is shifting back to where it belongs. They thought they could hide and that no one would notice their schemes, but the unseen does not forget. The universe does not misplace what was meant for you. What was taken is already on its way back to you, not by luck or chance, but by an unstoppable force that has been waiting for the right time to strike. You are not here by accident. You were always meant to rise, to reclaim what was lost. The doors that were once closed will break open, not gently, but under the weight of what was always destined to be yours. The time has come, and the world will know your name. No shadow lasts forever, and no secret stays hidden. What was unjustly taken leaves a mark that demands justice. Those who thought they were untouchable won't remain silent forever. The truth does not stay hidden. It sharpens, waits, and finds the hand willing to carry it. The moment you're facing isn't random. It's a force answering wrong with precision. What was hidden is not lost. It's only waiting to be seen, and when it does, it will not falter. The illusion of invulnerability will fall, not by chance, but because deception is only a delay, not a defense. Destiny cannot be rewritten. The truth cannot be stolen. What is yours will always come back to you. It is not just an object or a sum, it is an undeniable part of who you are, etched beyond reach. Those who try to possess it without true alignment will only burden themselves with consequences. What was stolen does not become theirs. It becomes a weight they cannot carry, and the pursuit of what was never meant for them only seals their downfall. Illusions do not last, and false authority cannot stand forever. What was displaced will return to its rightful place. The balance will restore itself, without fail. No deception is perfect, and no lie goes unchallenged. Every false claim carries the seed of its own destruction. Lies unravel over time, and the truth will always rise. The hands that signed in deceit will eventually see the consequences of their actions. If your heart overflows with God's blessings, now is the time to let that love shine. By giving, you're not just supporting this platform, you're planting seeds of faith that will touch countless lives. Your generosity is a reflection of God's abundance, and it echoes far beyond what you can see. You were made for more. No lock can hold forever. No secret can stay hidden indefinitely. The truth moves, seeks, and waits for the perfect moment to make its impact. The world you thought was stable will shift under the weight of undeniable truth. The moment of revelation is not random. Something beyond reason is guiding the attention toward what was hidden, and the weight of deception can no longer hold against the scrutiny of those seeking what is real. Exposure is not just about discovery, it's a consequence of arrogance. They built their facade thinking they were untouchable, blind to the inevitable unraveling that would follow their actions. Lies are not just marks on paper, they are tethers to the choices that created them. Forging the truth is a direct path to reckoning. What was hidden cannot remain submerged. Once the chain of revelation is set in motion, justice is unstoppable, irreversible, and absolute. At first, they dismissed what they saw as insignificant, just errors to be ignored. But truth does not yield to hesitation. It presses forward, urging confrontation. What began as a simple observation turns into an undeniable call to confront corruption. You entered this moment as an observer, but now you carry the weight of an unfolding reckoning. Every act of exposure begins with a rupture, a break from silence. This realization is sudden, an irreversible shift in perception that forever changes the world you knew. What once seemed stable becomes impossible to accept under the weight of truth. This isn't just about legality or policy, it's about aligning with forces that do not allow deception to stand. Indifference is a choice, but neutrality is an illusion. If you see wrongdoing and stay still, you're becoming part of it. If you've been given sight, it's because you're meant to act. To step forward, to speak up, is risky, but staying silent comes at a far greater cost. That silence grows into a heavy weight, one that can't be ignored. The path you walk wasn't chosen for you, it was laid before you, and once you cross it, you're no longer just an observer, you become part of something bigger. As it says in Matthew 7:24-26, those who listen and act on wisdom are like a wise man who built his house on a rock. But those who ignore it are like a fool who built his house on the sand. The people who built their empire did so like a house on sand, appealing on the outside but weak at the core. They stacked lie after lie, believing that as long as no one questioned them, their empire would stand. But a house built on deception will not last in the storm, and make no mistake, the storm is coming. Truth doesn't ask permission. It doesn't whisper or negotiate. Truth is like a tidal wave, unstoppable, undeniable, washing away everything fake and leaving only what's real. They thought they could outrun the truth, rewrite the story before it caught up to them. But truth has a way of waiting, and when it arrives, there's nowhere for deception to hide. This isn't just about justice, it's about divine timing. Corruption doesn't collapse in an instant, it crumbles piece by piece. They made choices long ago. Every forged signature, every secret deal, every bribe was a brick in the wall of their downfall. What they didn't understand is that the unseen is always watching. The records they thought were erased were never truly gone. Lies in contracts, hidden transactions, falsified accounts, they were all recorded, waiting for the right moment to be revealed. One truth doesn't come alone. It pulls others into its wake, unraveling the false foundation they thought was unshakable. What was buried doesn't resurface by chance, it's pulled up by inevitability. Those who swore loyalty to secrecy will fracture, betray each other, and scramble to save themselves, not out of regret but out of fear. They may try to destroy files, silence witnesses, or rewrite history, but truth isn't bound to their efforts. It lingers in unseen places, waiting in overlooked corners, ready to be revealed by those they never saw as a threat. No matter how much they try to cover it up, truth will always find a way to rise. The more they hide, the clearer the path to revelation becomes. What belongs to you will not be lost. If you're meant to know something, it will reach you at the exact moment you need it. What they thought they erased was never really gone. Conversations leave marks, agreements leave traces, and every lie leaves an imprint that can't be undone. The truth they tried to bury will resurface in the most powerful way, through people and records they never expected. They'll witness their empire collapse, unable to stop the flood they unknowingly set in motion. And you've always known this. Not from delusion or ego, but because there's an undeniable force within you that recognizes what's coming. They fear this recognition in you because it marks the inevitability of their downfall. You're here for a reason. If you feel the call, now is the time to answer. By clicking the join button, you'll unlock exclusive content, deep insights, and a powerful community ready to walk this journey with you. This isn't just a membership, it's an awakening. It's your chance to step fully into your divine purpose and claim the path meant for you. Deception is never weightless. Those who build their lives on lies believe silence will protect them, that staying complicit will hold their foundation firm. But truth is a force that never gives in. It eats away from within, unraveling their certainty and dismantling the illusion they worked so hard to maintain. They don't need an external force to bring them down. Their own conscience will carve the path to their destruction. Each lie they've spoken is a step closer to their fall. The truth lingers, pressing against the fragile walls of their self-deception, whispering the reality they refuse to face. They don't sleep in peace, they wake to the echoes of their own betrayal, the weight of their own lies suffocating them. What they thought was buried is now rising. Control turns into chaos, and power feels like a cage. The unraveling doesn't start with accusations or exposure. It begins the moment they realize they can't escape themselves. No wealth, no power, no distractions are enough to quiet the unrest inside them. Guilt isn't just a feeling, it's a force that seeps into every part of their life, turning every victory into a reminder of what they've stolen. They don't need to be told their downfall is coming, they feel it already. Every conversation unsettles them, every glance feels like a threat. They are haunted, not by an external enemy, but by the inevitable ruin they've set in motion. This is not vengeance, it's balance reasserting itself. Their body, mind, and energy reject what was never rightfully theirs. They try to suppress the truth, rewrite their story, and force the past to disappear, but reality can't be silenced. What they've done won't stay in the shadows, it will replay again and again, tightening around them until they are left with two choices: confession or collapse. The reckoning was never an accident. No small detail is meaningless. No misplaced document is irrelevant. Every piece of truth finds its way to the right hands at the right time. Corruption thrives in secrecy, but justice operates on a much grander scale. A casual remark, an overlooked detail, an unnoticed file, all of these seem like coincidences until they align with perfect precision. What they thought was random was really the design of their own undoing. Exposure doesn't require force. Truth is not passive, it has its own gravity, drawing those who need to know exactly where to look. The schemers will find themselves trapped in their own contradictions, not caught by an outside force, but by the consequences of their own arrogance. They'll make a mistake, trust the wrong person, or leave behind what they once thought was insignificant. The whispers they ignored will multiply. The records they altered will resurface. What was once overlooked will now be understood by eyes that see its importance. There is no singular witness, no single moment of revelation. Justice builds gradually, too heavy to ignore. The ones involved will call it bad luck, a twist of fate, a mistake, but those who understand the process will know better. Timing isn't random. Exposure is not luck. The unraveling started long before they saw it coming. And by the time they realize it, it will be too late to stop. Nothing hidden will stay hidden forever. Nothing concealed will stay concealed. Luke 8:17. No fortress built on deception will stand forever. They thought they were safe behind walls of secrecy, but those walls don't make them untouchable, they make them prisoners. They stacked bricks of manipulation, cemented by greed, thinking if they built high enough, they could escape the weight of the truth. But deception is like a house with a cracked foundation. No matter how tall they built it, no matter how many layers of lies they added, the structure was never sound. It was never meant to last. Truth is not weak. It is not timid. It doesn't knock politely on the door. It is a storm that shatters barriers, a flood that rushes through every hidden corner, leaving nothing untouched. And when truth moves, it doesn't move alone. It brings justice with it. Every hidden ledger, every falsified document, every whispered lie, and every forged contract will be swept away by the force that's coming. They built their empire on shifting sand, and now the ground beneath them is starting to slip away. The system they relied on, the tangled web of lies, can no longer hold. The loopholes they thought would protect them are now turning against them. The rules they used to delay accountability are now trapping them in their own lies. The precedents they ignored are coming back stronger than ever, cutting through their schemes. Even the people they relied on to protect them are now backing away, pretending they were never involved, trying to escape the collapse they know is coming. When the Lord decides it's time for justice, He doesn't whisper, He roars. He doesn't ask for permission, He declares it. What was hidden in the dark will be brought into the light, not gently, but as a reckoning. This was never about luck or coincidence. This is divine alignment, a moment that was always meant to come. They thought they could take what wasn't theirs, but they never understood that the script was never in their hands to write. They were always on borrowed time. The ledgers are open, and the records are speaking. The weight of every stolen thing is pressing down on them. This isn't just the work of men, it's the hand of something greater, something that doesn't make mistakes. When it strikes, it doesn't miss. There's no lasting possession of what was never truly theirs. No deception, no loophole, no secret contract can change what was always meant to return. The weight of stolen things doesn't settle, it disrupts, corrupts, and weakens those who try to claim them as their own. They don't carry what they think they've taken, they carry the consequences of stealing it. In time, what was seized will slip through their grasp, unraveling in ways they didn't expect. What they dismissed as minor details will turn into undeniable patterns, and their control will slip further with each failed attempt to hold on. This isn't fate or coincidence, it's the force of correction. It's inevitable and deliberate. They'll call it unfair, but deep down, they'll recognize it for what it is, the cost of dishonesty. The price isn't just exposure, it's the crumbling of everything built on lies. What was diverted was never lost, it was only paused, waiting to return. Restoration isn't a request, it's certain. What was withheld will resurface through channels they never expected, through opportunities they never imagined, through doors they never thought would open. The assets they hoarded will slip away, their false sense of security will crumble, and everything they manipulated will turn against them with ruthless precision. The unraveling is gradual, a steady reclaiming, and what doesn't belong to them will reject them. They thought they could steal what wasn't theirs, hide it behind layers of lies, bury it in offshore accounts, or disguise it under fake names and forged signatures. But what they didn't understand is that wealth is not just numbers or titles, it carries a divine mark that can't be erased. When something is meant for you, it moves through time and space with a purpose. No matter how far they try to take it or how deep they bury it, what belongs to you will always find its way back, and not just in the way they took it, but multiplied, restored, and beyond measure. The best part is, you don't have to chase it. They built their false security on deception, but deception is like a dam with cracks. At first, the cracks are small and unnoticed, but over time, the pressure builds. A missing document here, a whistleblower speaking out there, then, the dam bursts. Everything they tried to hide comes rushing out into the light. The very systems they trusted to protect them will turn against them. The files they thought they destroyed will resurface at the right time, and they'll call it bad luck. They'll call it coincidence. But you'll know exactly what it is, because there's a law in the spirit, a principle that says nothing stolen unjustly will ever prosper. The money they stole won't stay in their hands. The success they built on fraud will crumble beneath them. The doors they slammed shut in your face will be flung open with a force they never saw coming. They thought they were untouchable, but there is no hiding from divine justice. There's no loophole that can escape what's already in motion. Right now, things are shifting, alignments are happening, and the transfer has already begun. The wealth of the wicked is not theirs to keep. The inheritance they tried to claim was never theirs. The moment is coming sooner than they think when what was meant for you will be returned to your hands. They will watch helplessly as their empire unravels, and you will step forward, unshaken and unbothered, knowing that justice was never in doubt, only the timing. What was always meant for you was never lost, it was just waiting for the right moment to return. And now, that moment is here. Nothing taken unjustly remains beyond reach. Every fraudulent claim, every dishonest contract, every attempt to erase a rightful legacy carries a signature that can't be overridden. The system they relied on to protect their lies will betray them. What they manipulated will turn against them, and what they concealed will unravel before their eyes. A mistake here, an overlooked word there, a glitch in the system they once controlled, everything is moving toward the same outcome. The truth doesn't fade. The weight of stolen things becomes unbearable, drawing exposure like an inevitable tide. What was yours was never truly lost, it was just waiting to return. What was once misplaced is now waiting for the right moment to return, bringing with it the full weight of justice. Every delay, every obstacle, and every effort to keep you from what was meant for you has only made its restoration undeniable and unstoppable. The cracks in their foundation have already started, and what they held onto so tightly is slipping away, pulled back by forces beyond their control. The absence you experienced wasn't emptiness, it was preparation. The lessons, the clarity, and the unshakable knowledge that came from your struggles weren't signs of defeat. They were proof of what was always meant to be reclaimed. This isn't just about getting back what was yours. It's about rising to something greater, something stronger, built through every challenge you faced, and strengthened by every effort to deny you. They thought they could rewrite your story, but now they must watch as the truth unfolds before them. Nothing that was stolen will remain in the hands of those who took it. What was yours was never theirs to keep. The time for its return is here, not just as it was, but transformed, amplified, and aligned with a greater purpose. The force that has carried you this far has already spoken. Now it's your time to speak, to claim what is rightfully yours, and to move forward. Let your presence be a witness to what cannot be undone.